address.
I was sitting next to two big guys and they were
I would
taking
like
parts
to
in my
address
chair.
an indirect impact, one that I have not heard mentioned. I believe this would be caused by people who believe that the EIS process is corrupt and understands that what we, the community, wants has no bearing on whether or not projects go through. The impact I'm talking about is when people decide to take matters into their own hands to stop these projects. I'm not talking about civil disobedience here. I'm talking about people attacking machinery or sabotaging critical industrial infrastructure. This may surprise some of you, but let me tell you why it should not. For the last 41 years, we have had environmentalism in this country, starting at the release of Rachel Carson's Silent Spring in 1962, and every living system is in decline, and the rate of decline is accelerating. There is not a single peer-reviewed scientific article that contradicts that statement. The EIS process, these protests, marches, and rallies, and acts of civil disobedience are not working. They are not working at all. Environmentalists are losing. The living world is dying, and human and non-humans are dying because of this. 200 species go extinct every day. Every single day. Research found that water, air, and soil pollution account for 40% human deaths worldwide. We should not be surprised when people take matters into their own hands and take strategic, militant actions to stop projects like these. I will not condemn them. They have my support. Thank you.
I hear the coal companies and the railroads say that this project will be done in an environmentally friendly way. So, either they found a vein of coal that when burned, magically brings back salmon runs so thick, their churning in the water can be heard from miles away. And it brings back the prairies and the wetlands and the old-growth trees and the wolf packs starting through the forest like spirits. Or, the words environmentally friendly and sustainability mean absolutely nothing at all anymore. And the life-destroying industry can greenwash their psychotically short-sighted behavior into something benign. And every day, the water is poisoned a little more. The air becomes a little dirtier. The glaciers melt a bit faster. And more species go extinct. Who thinks one more environmental impact statement will stop this? What do you do when the institutions that dominate your life value the needs of corporations or the needs of the real, living, physical world? Do technocrats love salmon? Do they love the land like you do? Do you even love the land? The modern environmental movement has existed for nearly half a century, yet every year things get worse, and they're getting worse at an increasing rate. With literally the future of life itself at stake, it's insane to me that we keep using these same safe, legal, sanctioned tactics that make us feel good, but do nothing for the 200 species that go extinct every day. If you love something, you fight for it. For some, fighting means putting their bodies in the path of the coal, no matter where or how it travels. For others, acting alone, or in underground cells that may exist or come to exist in the future, fighting looks like an asymmetric war of sabotage, disruption, cyber warfare, whatever it takes. And I will not condemn them. They have my support.
I'll start with a quote from Upton Sinclair, the great author. It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends upon him not understanding it. So that reminded me with all the blue shirts out there. A couple weeks ago, I got stuck in my hometown of Washougal at one of the railroad crossings. And as I watched car after car after car of coal pass, I looked at my daughters who were also in the car, and I tried to imagine what they would be thinking or asking of me 20, 30 years from now, should more of this continue. I think it's high time that we take this review process for what it is. It's a scam, it's a joke, it's corrupt, it's illegitimate. It's a facade the government uses to justify these projects. As we've seen, every living system is in decline, and the rate of decline is worsening and accelerating. Last year, some folks up in Bellingham laid their bodies in front of the trains. And recently in Southern Oregon, a group sabotaged some track to expose its vulnerability. It should come as no surprise if there are more that are forced to such actions to defend their communities. To illustrate the point I'm trying to make, I live on the Washougal River, and years ago there was 2 dams, and they were going to build a third one, but the night before it was to be put into operation, it was blown up, and the 2 were taken down shortly thereafter. And to this day, the river road runs freely. I'll leave with 4 words from my family and from my land base to the coal industry, and that's fuck you, expect resistance.